Hi everybody, it's Cindy at Bass Ackwards Acres. I got new glasses, so I'm trying to get used to them, but oh my gosh, I needed them so bad. And it was really hurting my eyes, what I was wearing. But anyway, I am going to make my my buffalo chicken chili. It is awesome. And it took third place at our church chili cook-off. And I think it was just because some of the old timers don't think chili should be chicken, you know, that whole thing. But this is the best chicken chili you will ever taste. And it's not hard, it's pretty easy. So I will put the recipe down in the description for you. And you start with 2 pounds. I've doubled my recipe because I like to make a lot. I got a big pot here. I like to make a lot so that I can freeze it, some of it, and we can eat it later on. And most of what I get at discount stores. So I've got 2 pounds of ground chicken, and I am going to put this in the pot. Let me get this turned on here. I'm gonna put a little bit of olive oil in there just to kind of help it not stick. I am gonna strain it, I think. It depends how much fat we get out of this meat. We shall see. So I'm just gonna break all this in here and get this started cooking. This is so easy to put together. It's like brown the chicken, and then add everything else except one thing. That's why it's so easy, but it's also extremely delicious. So I'll come back after I get this all broke up in here, and we'll get started. So hey guys, so I'm letting this brown, this chicken meat. Ground chicken is kind of mushy, so it's important to keep it stirred around in there. And you don't want to overcook it because it's going to cook a little when I get everything else in there. So you just want to make it so it's done all the way through. And I've got a spice mix that I'm going to add to the soup. And I'll show you what's in that. It's a teaspoon of celery seed, a teaspoon of cilantro, a teaspoon of onion powder, and a teaspoon of garlic powder. And it will take 2 packets of ranch salad dressing mix. So I'll come back when this gets done and we'll strain it, and I'll start adding everything else. Because you literally just cook the meat, strain it, and then add stuff. Okay everybody, so this is pretty much the chicken is cooked through. So I'm gonna add the chicken broth next, and that's gonna take 8 cups of that. And I get the low sodium because there's enough salt in the other stuff that I'm going to be putting in the soup. So I'm gonna add the chicken broth, 8 cups of it. That's 2 of these packages. And this is organic chicken broth, if you want to use that, but I always get low sodium because there is so much sodium in regular chicken broth. Okay, here's the second one. That's going in. That's going to be 8 cups of chicken broth. All right, let's see. Then I'm going to put all my seasonings in that are all in my little bowl here. Now, I'll put the double size recipe in the description box, so if you don't want as much, you just cut everything in half. It works just as good. It's just as good. Now we're gonna take 2 packets of ranch salad dressing mix, and we're gonna put that in there. I mean, I am not kidding you. This is the best white chicken chili that you will ever have. It is so good. Alrighty, and then let's see, it says 2 cups apiece are what I need. So I think I can put this whole package actually busted this open because I got it out of the freezer and it was, you know, like frozen in chunks, and I started beating it on the counter and some peas flew out, but that's okay. We're gonna go ahead and put these peas in here. I'm just gonna put the whole bag. This is a 10-ounce bag. No salt, organic peas. Okay, and then how much of the wing sauce do we need? We need a cup of wing sauce, which won't be too bad. Now my husband likes things spicy, so he'll either put some of his dehydrated pepper flakes or some of this hot sauce. He's like that. I don't like things super hot. I'm kind of against that. But he loves it. He loves it. So we're gonna put a cup of buffalo sauce in there. Woo, that came out of there fast. And I'll show you once I get it stirred up. Sorry, I'm banging my pot. I do that. I know just the right amount to bang them, that they don't bend or anything. Okay, now I'm gonna strain these beans. I've got a bowl here under my strainer, and then I'm gonna wash the beans off really good, and I'm gonna add them. So I have 2 cans. These are cannellini beans, which are white kidney beans. Woo. Strain those off. Alrighty, let me give these a good rinse. Get the starchiness out of them. Still dripping a little there. I'm gonna wet it. Okay, give these a good rinse, and then we'll dump these in there. I didn't strain the meat because I was surprised. There was only like maybe 2 tablespoons of water in there, so I thought, I'm just gonna leave that in there because that'll add some extra flavor. I thought maybe I would get like a whole bunch of fat, but there was not hardly any fat in that ground chicken. So that's kind of good. So I'm letting this drip. Letting it drip. Doesn't have to be perfect. This is an inexpensive meal and it is amazing. So now I'm gonna take 2 cans of fire roasted diced tomatoes, and I'm gonna strain that too. I wish I didn't have to do that, but that's what the recipe says to do. So I'm gonna strain them. I probably ended up with something not quite right when I was making it, and I changed that. That happens. You live, you learn, right? So these have strained very nicely, and I'm going to dump them in there. Beautiful. We'll deal with this later when we have more time. I'm spilling things everywhere. Okay, now I'm going to give this a good stir, and I'll show it to you. It already looks really pretty. Let me make sure I got everything in there. I'm pretty sure I do. I'm just double checking. Yes, everything is in there. Now, I'm going to add a secret ingredient in about an hour, which is going to make it extra special. Well, there's a couple of them, but let me show this to you. And I'm going to set this on to simmer for an hour. And I'll get back on. Sorry, I'm blocking the camera. I'm a novice at this. I probably always will be a novice. That's just how it is with me. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to prop you up there. All right, so I'll be back in an hour when this is done simmering. Hey everybody, now this has been simmering for an hour in the pot. I'm going to show it to you because it's beautiful and the whole house smells phenomenal. So there it is. I'm sorry the camera got Messed up. Can you see it? You can't. Oh no. Let me wipe off the lens. How is that? That is better, thank you. Now, let me show you the secret ingredient. I turned the burner off, and then I'm gonna put 2 8-ounce packages of cream cheese in here. And I just let it sit. That's what I do with the burner off. And put the lid on it, and I let it sit for a while until I feel like it's probably soft enough and melted enough that I can stir it. So I'm gonna get these in here. Here's number 1. Try not to flop them too hard or they'll get you. Let's see here. They don't make these packages easy to open, do they? I guess that's a good thing. You got to get a good grip on there, that's for sure. Okay. Here goes package number 2. These are both 8-ounce packages. And now I'm going to put the lid on. And I'll come back when it's been sitting here maybe 15 minutes, and I'm going to check it. And if it's not all melted, I'll turn the burner back on. Okay, everybody, so I let it sit for about 15 minutes, the cream cheese in there. It doesn't look like it's melting. So what I'm going to do, it definitely looks like it's melted a little. Let me show it to you. Here it is. Now, see how soft it's gotten just sitting in there? So it did work. At first I thought, oh, that's not gonna work. So we're gonna stir this in. It's so good. But I let the cream cheese, and that was just out of the fridge. I let it sit there for 15 minutes with the burner off. So this is an extremely tasty soup. So let me get a whisk out. I'm gonna whisk it, and I'll come back when I get it all mixed up, and I'll show it to you. Now you could use a stick blender, but I didn't. I just used my whisk. So there's a little bit of little tiny pieces of cream cheese, but if you're like me, you don't mind that. So let me dip up a bowl, and then I will show it to you. This is the tastiest. And there's a little accessory, that's what I call it, that you put on top. Let me show you it in the bowl. See if you can see it. Yep. We're gonna take just a little bit of blue cheese crumbles, and we're gonna put some of that on top. Yum. Let me get a spoon, and I'm going to show you how absolutely wonderful and yummy this is. And I'm going to try not to burn myself. But let me see here. That is the most outstanding stuff. And you know what? This looks good enough to eat.